Hey, hello, my name is Savannah and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, all I do is talk about crafting goodness, mostly knitting, sometimes crochet, cross stitch, sewing, whatever I'm doing during the month. So this is going to be my June recap video, and so I am very happy that you're here. It is June 30th, a Monday at, what time is it? 9:30 in the morning. I'm pretty tired, so hopefully that won't reflect too much in this video. But let's go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the corner of my big crafting space, but this is my corner. It is usually a mess. So let's go ahead and dive right in. We're going to start with finishes, whips, and you know, with those whips are going to come acquisitions as well, because I have made some and I have already started using some of them, so might as well just do it all together. Okay, so we'll go with this finish first, just because this one was done first. My porcelain sweater by Layknit. I can never remember how to pronounce her name. Lena Holmsamso. Layknit is her designer name. You can look that up easily. That way, I'd say everything is listed down below. I don't remember if I do anymore. I should, but anyways, this is my porcelain sweater. Finished this earlier in the month. It's too warm to put on, even with it being a fingering weight sweater. It's a little bit wrinkly. I have worn it once and then crumpled it into a pile, and then I nicely folded it and put it away. But yes, what do I want to say about this? This was an enjoyable knit. It actually knit up very fast, considering that I knit this on a fingering weight yarn. So the pattern actually calls for a DK weight, or like a fingering plus a mohair for this, on a US 6. I still knit this on a US 6, but I just did it with a fingering weight. Nothing held together. So I used palette, Knit Picks palette in the Nimbus colorway, and then the blue is I believe it's pronounced Seal, but I could be wrong. Ciel. What is that? I don't even know what that is. But is that Kyle? I don't know. Anyways, those are what I did. So I changed the gauge just slightly. So I knit the large size. I should have gone up to an extra large just to make it a little bit more oversized, but it does fit very well. Maybe I can pop it on over this. It does fit very well. Ooh, my ring. I didn't catch any of these floats. I am not a fan of catching floats, so I try not to do that anymore. But yeah, see, lightweight, you can see the stripes of my other shirt through it. So it is a very lightweight sweater. I made this specifically like this. It's weird because of the shirt underneath, but I made it specifically like this for summer evenings. You know, when it gets a little chilly outside, I can just throw this on. So I did want it a little bit more oversized so that I could throw it on over whatever I'm wearing easier, but it works. This shirt that I have on is definitely on the longer side, as you can see. So these jeans are mid-rise, not my favorite. I prefer high-rise, but see, it's a great length. Again, what I was saying was, for this being a fingering weight, this went incredibly quick in my mind. I'm not entirely sure why, but oops, I enjoyed knitting this. So there's that. I do have 2 more patterns by this designer in my library. It's called the Porcelain Damask, which is just, I believe, I don't think it's the exact same colorwork design as this, but it's similar, except instead of colorwork, it is just textures, like knits and pearls, I believe. And then I have the terracotta, I think it's called terracotta one, which is beautiful. So when I do get around to knitting that one, which I do think I want to knit the terracotta before the damask one, I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to knit it in like a fingering weight, potentially. And then I'm wondering if it's the same gauge. I'll have to look it up. If it's the same gauge, I know I'm going to go up to an extra large size just to get it a little bit more oversizedness. So yes, oops, sorry. So I finished that. And then the other finish I finished last night, actually. I finished a pair of socks. So these are the Raccoon socks. So the pattern is by Andrea Rangel. I do not know if it's available yet. This was a June knit along with Gauge Dye Works. So the yarn is by Gauge Dye Works. The pattern was made specifically for this yarn. And it was a self-striping, one of those amazing, fantastic balls of yarn that this was one skein of yarn, and you just have to cut it at certain spots so that you get your one sock plus your heel and your color, and then the opposite way for this side. But I did block these last night because I wanted to block this color work out, and I'm not too thrilled with how stretched out the cuff got, to be honest. These will get washed in the wash machine and thrown in the dryer. That's just what I do with my socks. I don't care. So let me tell you about these. So yes, you start up here and then you knit down. It's the first time I've done a short row heel. I've never done that before. I've done other types of short row heels, but this one I think is just the traditional wrap and turn heel. I'm not a big fan of wrap and turns, but I managed through. So I just did what the pattern said. And then you keep going down, and then you have this cute little raccoon on the toe. And then on the back are raccoon feet. How cute is that? So yep, I finished this last night because it was a month-long knit along June. So today is technically the last day, but I wanted to make sure to get them done. Okay, so the pattern, typically when I used to hand knit socks, I haven't hand knit a pair of socks, like fully finished a full pair of socks in a while. But typical, my recipe is usually 64 stitches on a US 1 or a 2.25 millimeter needle type of thing. I usually do afterthought heels just because I'm lazy. But this pattern wanted, for the medium size, my normal size, they wanted me to knit it at a 72 stitch. A 72 stitch, which made me a little nervous because I've tried that before with a different pattern and the socks ended up way too big. But I went with it. I was just like, I'll do what they say. And also, what I've noticed is a lot of the socks that I've made in the past that have been gone through the washer and dryer several times are now very, very tight. So I was like, okay, maybe the 72 stitch will be better for that because it'll start out a little loose, but then as they are washed and dried, they will shrink a little. Hi, Orangey. But then once I finished one sock, the first sock, I went to go start the second sock and I realized that I had accidentally used a size 0 needle. They still fit just fine though, so it's probably not that big of a deal. But yeah, you do change the size of your needle for the color work, which was very helpful. I have tried color work socks in the past and have never switched the needle size, and they never work out. So I should just probably do that, right? Switch the needle so that the color work fits. But yes. Plus it's only on the toe, so it's not like it has to go over my heel. But how stinking cute. The only other like little issue I had was like with the decreases for the toe. Because I was doing color work at the same time as that, there was this little bit of gaping right there. It is what it is. Again, I am kind of counting on drying these in the dryer, helping to squeeze everything back together. But for now, these are lovely and they're so cute and I can't wait to wear them more. They're gonna be so fun. I'm gonna wear these with sandals so that people can see the raccoon. Too bad they can't see the raccoon toesies. Anyways, that's my other finish. Those are the only two finishes I have for the month, which is fine. I have been on a crazy cast on. Oh no, actually, you know what? I take that back. I have another finish. I did a test knit, so you didn't even see it started. Now I gotta figure out how to get this off here. I did a test knit for Veronica Lindbergh, Kutavakika. This is the seashore skirt. I started this June 6th and finished it June 19th, June 20th, 26th. It took me 19 days to knit. I don't remember when I finished it. What am I trying to think of to say about this? It was challenging. It's nothing against Veronica. I've test knit for Veronica several times. I enjoy her patterns. This has nothing against her. I think it's just me and lace. I am not a fan of knitting lace. It's beautiful and I wish I liked it more, but I'm not the biggest fan of it. Yet I still signed up for a test knit. I mean, maybe because I'm always thinking, maybe I'll like lace. So when I started, you start actually here below the waistband. You start there and you get into this part. And it was hurting my hands at first doing this lace. And I also used Holst Yarn Super Soft, held double, so it was a little bit trickier because that yarn is not the funnest to use before it's washed. But anyways, so it was hurting my hands at first and it was a lot of work. So I ended up breaking up this first chart into days. Like I was like, okay, I can do like 3 repeats a day and then I'll have it done, that part done within this many days. So I did that. I gave myself grace and a break. So I broke it down into bite-sized pieces, and then so that was one chart, I think all the way to here. No, these eyelets, maybe, I can't remember exactly. It's all one chart, and then this bottom section is another chart. It's really hard to show you here. I have to do it upside down. It's triangles or diamonds. Sorry, it's diamonds. I think I broke that up into like 2 or 3 days. I don't remember. I wish it would have blocked out a little bit better. It was very hard to block out because in this section right here, or right after this section, you double your amount to make it this bit. So definitely was difficult to block that section out. And then the hemming, the hem, oof, that's hard to show you. The lighting, that's very hard to show you. It is like a lace rib. And maybe not lace because there's no yarn overs or anything in it, but it is a ribbing where you're doing a lot of, you know, increase decreases like lace. to make a design. Like it's supposed to look like a flower. That was where I struggled with the pattern. I struggled really bad. That bottom bit, which was like 10 rows or so, took me like 4 or 5 days. I was constantly doing a row, which I had almost 400 stitches on the needles by then, and then I'd have to tink the whole row back. And then I'd knit it, and then I'd tink it right on back. I was getting so frustrated. I don't know if my brain wasn't comprehending. I do believe that the instructions were written a little funky at that point, but I did get through it and I finished it. And then I added the waistband and called it good. I'm not going to put this on for you guys right now because I need special undies for this one. So seashore skirt, again, knit this with Holskarn Super Soft held double. I used the color Heron and I think it's sage blue, blue sage blue. 3 cakes only. So if you've never seen Holskarn, they do come in cones, 500 gram cones, or you can get them in these, what are these, 50 gram cakes? 50 grams is 287 meters or 314 yards. So I used 3. I didn't finish the third of both colors, but I used most of it. So just 3 of each held together was perfect amount. And I already had it in stash. So I was like, perfect, I'll just use that. In the middle of this test knit, she announced another test knit for the matching blouse, and I was this close to applying for it, even though I don't like lace, but the whole outfit is very cute together. I went and looked at Holskarn, and they no longer make the Heron colorway, so I had to skip out. I cannot make the matching blouse to this because they do not make that color, which is unfortunate. Here's the problem though. Guess what? When I applied for this test knit, I kind of freaked out a little bit. I had this in stash, that yarn in stash. I was like, okay, I can start with this. I can, you know, get ready. But I also ordered yarn for it. Where did I put it? I ordered yarn and I was too afraid that it wasn't going to make it in time, so I just went ahead and started with the Holskarn, like initially Holskarn, but then I was like, this kind of hurts my hand, ordered yarn, but then got scared that it wasn't going to get here in time because Veronica does have a shorter test window. Like this was I think the test started June 6th, June 5th, I can't remember exactly, but the due date was July 7th. As you can see, I finished it in time, but I never know how long it's going to take me to do something. And so I got worried after I ordered the yarn that it wasn't going to get here in time, and it was going to take away like a week away from my knitting. So I just started with that. Still got the yarn. I got Tin Lena by Senescarn. I got the this is color 1015. I think it's called Kit. And then this color is 3021. I don't remember the name of this one. Beige? I don't know. Because this was very similar to the color scheme that Veronica had used for hers. I had never used this. So I have 3 balls of each. If I like knitting lace, I'd re-knit this again in this color. And then that way when the blouse comes out, I could just order more of this and make the matching. But again, so I'm trying to find something that I can make with either just 3 balls of one or with 3 balls of both of these held together. But I haven't been able to find anything yet. I did think about making this Sailor Swift top by Veronica with these two. So it'd be like it's a striped, just like this, except it's a tank top. Using these yarns, so it'd be like a low contrast. I could either do it in the in the beige and then have the stripes as white, or I could do white with beige stripes. I thought about that. I have enough yarn to do that, but I'm still unsure. So for right now, yeah, I did buy enough of this to do the skirt, yet I still had and went ahead with the whole scarf. I don't know. I was freaking out, stressing. Okay, so there, 3 finishes. 3 finishes. This needs to go back on the mannequin, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I do want to put this back up on here. This is the, what is this? Oh my gosh, I forgot. Don't drop any stitches. Oh goodness, I wish I could remember what this was called. I forgot what this was called. It's by Aegyo Knits. What is this called? I don't remember. Holy buckets. If I remember, I'll throw it on the screen. I just want this up here so that I could see. I did steam block it because this double knit edge right here was pulling up so far and it was making me nervous. So I steam blocked it the other day and then just hung it here so I could look at it. I guess it's getting closer to being fit. The body's getting closer to being finished. So if I put things on my mannequin, it forces me to look at it, and then my brain does that thing where it's like, hey, you need to work on that. Get it finished. So that's why it's here. Plus it looks really nice. It does look really nice. I wish I could remember what it's called. Anyways, let's carry on. I have not worked on it. If I did work on it, I did it for like one evening and then that's it. Again, I just really wanted to see it. I needed to steam block it to see how this double knit band, make sure it would work. Anyways, all right, let's carry on with other whips. And these are probably going to be all new starts for you guys as well. I have been on a new start or a cast on kick. As much as I don't want it, it has happened. I have not touched my Diana sweater. It just hasn't happened. All right, let me go ahead and show you. So after the test knit finished, I decided that I wanted to start a blanket. I am not a blanket knitter. I have a blanket, a knit blanket in a basket around the corner that I started years ago, and I just don't ever pick it up. But I was thinking about the hexagon. This is the Summer Fade Hexi blanket by Mallory, Krall, I think. If you know Natalie of Knitty Natty, she made one of these last year. But I was thinking about it, like it was just in my head, and I had all of these. I mean, this isn't, I don't think this is all of it. I need to look through this as well. But these are all sock scraps. Like I crank socks or I think all of these are from cranked socks. Yes. I have crank socks, and this is all that, these are what's left over. Like 30, 40 grams, I would guess. I know this is hard to, that's not a good one to show you, and that one's already been used. So they vary. They all vary in sizes. They're not enough to make another pair of socks. Well, I mean, maybe a pair of shorty socks. When I crank socks versus hand knit socks, the gauge is different. So cranking socks uses more yarn than hand knit socks. So I can make I can hand knit a pair of socks and use just under 50 grams and still be like calf length. but if I do the same length on my sock knitting machine, it uses more than 50 grams. So I figured I would just use all these. So I'm holding them double. As you can see, I was in the middle of doing this one. Hold them double and making this little blankie. So I started here, and then I went, ooh, start here, 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 here. So I'm just going around. So the pattern itself isn't technically like this. The pattern, the summer fade hexagon blanket is actually more of like a rectangular blanket. So you would start, I think, like here, and then you add, you know, somehow this way, and then you're gonna fade your colors kind of thing. But just like how Natalie did it, she just started with the center one and went out, and I was like, I'll just do the same thing. It's easy. This is just a scrappy project. It's nothing serious. So I can kind of remember what some of this stuff is. So a real quick run through, and I will not do this every time I show this blanket on here, but this one, well, I can't remember the Geektastic fibers, maybe. North remembers. I got this as a gift a long time ago. This is one of my own hand-dyed yarns. I can't remember. I don't know if it was like for anything, but my own hand-dyed. This is a Get Knit Faced in Colorado. Halloween color. This is a Get Knit Faced in Colorado. Exploration. Oh, I wish the lighting. This is a beautiful color. And these two are both on zebra bases. So they're very pretty. This is my own hand-dyed. This one I called Magic Treehouse, but I don't know if I ever sold it. This one is just a Hobby Lobby one. This is my own hand-dyed. It was from Milo. It was for my friend Jen. Her son was born with a heart condition, so this was like the color scheme of their, like, you know how different things have ribbons? This was the color of that ribbon, so I did that for her. So again, one of my own hand-dyed. It was a self-striping, my first self-striping attempt. So I just dyed it, no name, no nothing. And then this one right here, this one is a camp fiber yarns, and it was called Distant. It was the Pluto colorway. So yeah, and the one I'm working on right now is another one of my own hand knit, or hand dyed, sorry. Oh, there goes my hook. It's another one of my own hand dyed yarns. This one's called Atreyu and Artex. If you know, you know. Anyways, and then I have all this in here. I have more to add. And then I had still so much, like, let's see here. I'm trying not to get these too tangly. Look, I still have, like, this is one I've already used, and I still have so much more. So I'm going to do what I can to, like, add, like, I'm going to look through all my stash and see what I have, and then eventually, like, not like fully repeat, but I will be reusing just to use more of the yarn. Just because why not? I have that much, you know, and so I'm sticking it in this basket that I have and just working on it when I feel like it. It's just one of those cast-ons that I just really needed to do for some reason. And then that led me to another crochet cast on. So I got this yarn. This is one of my acquisitions. I bought 5 skeins of 24/7 Cotton by Lion Brand in the ecru color because I wanted to make myself a swimsuit cover. I haven't been to the pool at all this year. But I figured, you know what? Let's just make a cover. I'm hoping this fits because I went down a hook size because I was not hitting gauge with the hook that was called for. I only went down like 0.5 millimeter, I believe. But so I'm nervous about the fit. I'm hoping, right? It's supposed to stretch out. It's cotton. It will stretch, right? Anyway, so it's just like a tank top type dress that goes down for however long you want. In like this mesh stitch. I don't know how to do really, I'm not really good at doing gauge swatches if it's not stockinette, so all I know is that I cast on, when I did the gauge swatch for this, I cast on the number of stitches for, you know, like I think it was like 19 stitches per 4 inches or something like that in the mesh pattern. This is a free pattern you can find, or paid for. You can do either or, by, oh, I don't know who it's by. The cover, it's called the Codie swim cover dress, I believe. Codie, Codie. But anyway, so I just cast on like the number that you're supposed to do, and then I did to see, and then I laid it out against a ruler just to see if it was within 4 inches. It was like 6 inches instead of 4. So I was like, oh, is that going to be the same? Does that mean it's going to be smaller? But I didn't want to go up a size because those sizing on this, it's grouped sizing. So this is actually a small medium. And then there's the large, extra large. I mean, when I put it on my body, there's going to be ribbing as well. Again, that's why I'm like, is this going to stretch out and come down enough? Should I do the large? Maybe I should rip this back and do the large. That means I have to rip back all the way to here. This is all, you know, I've done so far. It took me a minute to get into it, just because crochet is not my normal thing. Who is texting me? The grocery store is texting me. But yeah, so I started that. Not really focusing on it too much. Let me go ahead into another whip. This one is probably gonna get a decent amount of work tomorrow. Hopefully, fingers crossed. This is the Amy top by, is it Mochi Knits? I think so. This, my friends, has been an absolute nightmare. So this came out recently and I really, really like the way it looked. It is a polo style tank top with a V-neck. And so I started it when, I don't know, maybe I showed you part of it. Yes, I did, I think, just like the upper back. So I finished the back piece, went ahead and cast on for the front bits, which was different because she has you crochet along the shoulder, and then you pick up those stitches instead of just doing the normal pickup. And I was like, okay, maybe that's to reinforce because you are using a summer fiber. I am using Patton's linen. This is 65% cotton and 35% linen. Bought this at Joann's a long time ago. Only bought 3 skeins of it because that's all they had. This is the cauliflower colorway. And when I went to go look up this yarn on not Joann's, but like was it Yarnspiration's website? They don't have this anymore. So I don't know if it was just like a one-time deal or something. So I purchased it from Joann's and this is all I have. Should be enough, honestly. I think it's going to be plenty. But here's the problem. It looks like absolute trash. Absolute trash. So, okay, what I was saying is you do the back and then you pick up the fronts with the crochet cast on and then you knit down and then she makes you do the double knit knit bands along the neck right away. Not as, but you have to go back. And then she makes you do the collar right away as well, which was really odd because I had to have 2 sets of needles picking up stitches along the whole neck. And then you knit a couple of rounds. That is not straight at all. Oof. That is slanted. Oh my God. Anyway, so you have to pick up with 2 sets of needles, which was difficult as heck. And then you knit a certain amount of rows for each side of, each side, and then you knit those 2 together, which that's why I'm looking at this like, I knit those together. How is my stitches slanted? I must not have done a very good job. It's very frustrating. And then, because at first I was like, oh, okay, so I'm going to be, I thought for a second that the collar would be double knit or in double thick at least. No, it's just you, and then you knit it together, and then you knit. I don't know. It's a hot disaster. This needs to be blocked badly so I can see. And then she had a really fancy like bind off for the collar. She had a video and everything for it, and I was following it. Mine did not turn out at all like the way it looks. I think there's a video. Yes, a video. And then the pictures. It looks nothing like hers had like bumps right here or something. I don't know. This doesn't, to me, it does not look like it matches what she has. It's bound off. Problem is it curls because I am a tighter knitter and I tried my best. She also recommended like the Icelandic bind off for this part, but I was like, I don't know that either. Do I want to try? I think I tried like once or twice and I'm like, no, I don't want to get into this. So I did what she had because it was kind of easy. I don't know. Again, and there's so many ends. But you know what? I'm in the round now. I have joined in the round. It is just in the round stockinette for I don't know how long. But tomorrow I'm having surgery and I have to check in 2 hours before said surgery. So I think I'm going to take this with me. And then just, because it's in the round easy, I can just start and stop whenever. And so hopefully, and then after that is finished, all I'll have is the armhole finishing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, if it's ribbing or something different, but that's all I'll have left. And it'll be done. And I can only pray that this turns out okay. I went into this not sure if it'd be something I'd wear. I just kind of wanted to get the yarn out of stash. But I do really like the style, and I have these jeans that I think this would look really, really good with. I don't know. It is what it is, right? I did get pretty frustrated doing all those little itty bitty details. So yes. And what's sad is I was working on all that rough part, the collar and all that stuff, at the same time I was struggling with this skirt. And so I was just like, I felt like I was getting no win. I was like, everything is going wrong. Nothing is turning out right. When am I going to get a win? I just need to work on something that'll give me a win. And there was really nothing because I didn't want to work on anything else. At that time, I was just trying to get this done and then giving myself a break and working on that when I probably should have worked on something easier. But again, I didn't really have anything easier except the socks, but I didn't really want to work on the socks. So, oh well. The skirt is now finished. I haven't touched the Amy top in a little while. I've been just focusing on other things because guess what? I got this isn't a test knit, but this is a challenge, and I was really excited about it. So I went ahead and signed up for this challenge. The challenge is to knit this cardigan in 30 days. So, just had to challenge myself. I did sign up for another test knit too, so that should start at some point. I just have to wait for the yarn to get here and then get the information from the designer. But I'll talk about that probably in my next video because I don't have anything to show you. Anyway, so the challenge. The challenge is by, now I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce this designer's name. It's either Ruke or Ruke. Ruke Knits. I'm not entirely sure. I've been following her for a little bit because I found her, she has a special like bind off technique that is supposed to look a little bit like the sewn bind off, but easier. So that's how I found her. And then, here's what I found. Oh no, Siri. And then I started following her on Instagram, and then she announced this challenge. Again, the challenge was, you know, you had to sign up. You had to sign up earlier in the month for it. So the challenge, you can't sign up now, but it's, again, you knit this certain cardigan of hers in 30 days, and 5 winners will get 2 kilograms of her yarn, because I guess she has her own yarn too that I did not know of until just recently. So yes, I am trying to win some yarn. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive right in. This cardigan is called the Chic cardigan, and it is a batwing style cardigan. From what I understood, well, what I understood beforehand was that it was a paneled cardigan. Let me show you this one. So I assumed it was like this. This is the Rose cardigan by Andrea Mallory. This is a paneled cardigan, batwing style, just like this. And so my thought, honestly, was that you're going to, well, for this one, you knit this front panel minus the ribbing, just the front panel, and then just this front panel, and then 2 back panels. I seamed it up the back, and then you seam along the shoulders, and you seam along the underneath, and then you pick up and you knit the ribbing, you pick up and knit the bottom hem ribbing, and then you knit, well, for this one, you knit this button band design separately and then sew it on. So I assumed that this cardigan was going to be like that. But no, I was in for a surprise when I when I received the pattern on the start date, and the instructions were a little bit different than what I thought. This is so crazy, so crazy. It's a wonderful color too, which I'll talk about in a minute after I talk about the construction of this. It is all tangled, all crazy. Please bear with me because it is crazy. Okay, so there are 1, 2, I guess still 3, 4 panels, but this, my friends, is only the shoulders and down the top of the arm. So, oops, I guess kind of like this, you know, it'll look better obviously when it's all said and done. Okay, so with this pattern, you're actually supposed to cast on with your ribbing and then go into the main construction, but I didn't like the idea of seaming ribbing. I didn't like the idea of seaming the ribbing to the other panels, so I did a new to me provisional cast on. So yes, there's a provisional cast on where you use try on tubing, but the way that this one was done was even dinner. You put the provisional cast on, or the tried on tubing on the tip of the needle, and then you wrap it around. What is that? Oh, never mind. I freaked out for no reason. Kind of like a Turkish cast on almost. So I do have lap stitches on here, or when I'm ready, all I have to do is slide the needle through and wham bam. It was different. I'll have to look it up again. I hope I can find it. I should save that to my YouTube. And I'll try if I can to link it down below. But it was the easiest provisional cast on I've ever done, so I liked it. We'll see what it looks like once I have to pick up for the thing. So my plan is to do this for every panel, and then at the end I'm going to pick up the ribbing and do it in the round. That way I can knit it longer than, or long enough for my suiting. Because when I tried this on the other day, I guess it is, there's supposed to be 20 rounds of ribbing. So I don't know how far that'll get down for me, but I might want it longer, and this will give me that opportunity to do that. Anyway, so yeah, so you do the top shoulder bit first, and then I think you knit the back, which the back will be all the way from one sleeve all the way to the back. There will not be seamed together. It'll be one continuous piece, and then there's the two front panels. And those are in a different textured pattern, which, oh no, I hope I don't have issues like I've had before, where I've knit a product that had different textured patterns. The front and the back, the front pieces and the back pieces will have the same texture. It's just the shoulders have this seed stitch. So yeah, I'm almost finished. So I'm gonna try today to finish up this top bit. So yeah, I just again started here, worked up, cast off. Which, look at how beautiful it's just so crisp looking. And then I knit up here, and then I had to cast back on. And at first I got nervous, and I was like, oh, it's not going to look as lovely. It's going to be bigger. For some reason, it's going to be stretched out. No, it's fine. And then you decrease back down. I am a little nervous about this size. I think once everything's sewn together, it won't be so noticeable, but on this side, it's a left and right leaning, or lifted. They're lifted increases, which I've never done before, but I got the hang of it. Everything looks super sweet and solid on this side. The decreases in this pattern I have never heard of. They're like knit 2 together left, knit 2 together right, purl 1 together left, purl 1 together, or purl 2, sorry, together right and left, which I'd never heard before. She has videos in the pattern, but her knitting technique is, she's a continental, I'm English. That shouldn't bother me, but she purls twisted. Like her stitches aren't twisted. But she twists her purls, and she purls through the back loop. So that makes it really confusing when she did this video for these decreases, because she's having to untwist a stitch and then do some fancy stuff. And I'm like, I can't do that. I mean, I can't focus because I'm just focusing on you untwisting those stitches, which I don't have to do myself. And it was just really confusing. So I just decided to change the decreases slightly, just to, you know, SSKs and regular knit 2 togethers. And then it's just based on what the stitch is, you know. So it's working out. It's just, it's not looking nearly as clean as it could potentially be. So the stitch marker is my own marker. That's how much I knit yesterday on this. So I'll move it today for myself again. It's just for myself, since you guys hadn't seen it before. All right, let's talk about that yarn, huh? Because that's some fancy yarn. I got this yarn during the Knit Pick summer day sale. I was struggling to find what yarn to use for this pattern, because I had signed up for this. It's not test knit, this challenge. But the yarn requirement was a little tricky. And I wanted to get something that was similar in yardage to what she used, because, you know, I was just nervous. I initially wanted to use, honestly, this. So this is what I wanted to use. I have 5 skeins of Rowan Creative Focus Worsted, which is 75% wool, 25% alpaca. These are 100-gram cakes and 220 yards, or 200 meters. I have 5 skeins of this. This is a discontinued yarn. You cannot get this anywhere else. I reached out to several people on Ravelry to ask if they'd sell me their stash. But unfortunately, no. I mean, somebody reached back out, but then I haven't heard anything else. You know, I told her she could say no, right? I'm just like, if you don't want to sell it, don't sell it. It's fine. But I initially wanted to do it in this, but I didn't have enough. According to the pattern's yardage, I didn't have enough. I would need 3 more of those skeins. And I don't know what the kind of percentage this designer puts in her patterns. So I went ahead and did as much research as I could on finding yarns that had similar yardage and weights. It was difficult, to say the least. But then Knit Picks had their sale, and so I was like, okay, let me see if I can find something that they have that's close. And this was close. I had to get 14 balls of this because these are only 50 gram skeins instead of 100. But it is fantastic. So as you can see, it's called Oceana. Worsted weight is the sea lettuce colorway. And this is 136 yards for 50 grams. What's really cool about this yarn, it is 54% alpaca, superfine, and 46% polyester, but that is from Sequal. Is that how you pronounce that? Can you read that? Sequal yarn. You know, I don't understand why I'm using my forward-facing camera when I'm screen mirroring, and I meant to use the back. 52 minutes in, and I just realized what I'm doing. Doesn't even matter, does it? You can still read that. Focus. Sequal. That is recycled sea trash or plastic, you know, stuff they find in the sea that they clean out the oceans. They recycle that plastic. 46% of this is recycled sea trash. I thought that was pretty cool. Plus this color is to die for. I've wanted a green cardigan, like a lime green, and this is screaming that for a while. So Sequel. See, marine plastic. Yeah. So this is what I got in that sale, because I think they were $6 a ball during the sale, and I had to get 14 of them. Anyways, as you can see, it's very lovely. It's so fluffy. It's soft. This is going to be lovely. Lovely, lovely. So yes, this is kind of my focus piece right now, just because, again, it is a challenge with prizes. So yes. And then again, I said I have a test knit coming up, but I don't have to even worry about that because, again, I do not have the pattern yet, nor do I even have the yarn. So the test knit is for Pickles. Pickles Yarn Company, if you've heard of it. It's a Norwegian company. They have yarns and they also make patterns, and they posted on Instagram the other day saying, you know, looking for testers, and I, on a whim, signed up and I got it. It's just the only stipulation is you have to use their yarn, and that's okay. I've been wanting to use Pickles yarn for a while to try it out, and I'm hoping it's gonna be good. I did also get a pretty decent discount for testing. I didn't have to pay full price for the yarn. It's like 40% off, so what you gonna do? Okay. All right, so that's all that I've worked on. I did a little bit of sewing, but nothing finished, nothing's finished or great. So I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'll go ahead and show you the rest of my acquisitions, and I think that is it. All right, so I got just a couple skeins of plain white Wool of the Andes worsted weight. I got this using my ambassador discount, so I got a couple of these to go with these to do, I believe it's called the Esther sweater by, oh my gosh, Scrapple. I don't know, I just was like, oh, let's just get that so that when I'm ready to start that sweater, I actually have stuff. I don't think that's enough white yarn, but I used my discount code just to get enough, so I only had to pay for shipping. And then in the summer day sale by Knit Picks, I also got a couple skeins of Aloft. So 5 of the oat color and 5 of the carbon color. Just to, which I thought this was going to be like a different color gray, but it is definitely a blue gray. I don't know how well the camera, it is a blue gray for sure. It's very blue. And then just like an oat color, you know, beige will go really well with my whole scarn almond. I don't have that much left of, what is this? Oatmeal. I don't have much of that left, but it would have gone well with it. Just figured I'd have it so I can throw it in with, and I think these were, I can't remember if these, because it was a 2-4-6 sale. So there were certain yarns that were $2 a ball. Some that were $6, some were $4. I can't remember if this was, I think this was maybe $4. I could be wrong. Either way. And I was able to use my ambassador code, which is linked down below, to get an additional percentage off. I still spent a lot of money though this month and bought a lot of yarn this month. Last acquisition is this book. I bought a book off of eBay. I was on Instagram the other day and this lady posted this sweater she was knitting on and it looked absolutely fantastic. I was like, ooh, this is lovely. So I went to Ravelry to look it up and realized you cannot buy this pattern. You have to get it in a book. And so I was like, okay, well, let's see if I can find said book. So I went straight to Amazon and I'm like, I'm not paying that kind of price. This is an older book. So I went to eBay and I found it for, I think like 11 some change, free shipping. So I bought it. It is the Fisherman's Sweaters by Alice Starmore. This book is from 1993. But guess what? There's quite a few sweaters in here that are absolutely beautiful. Anyways, the one that the lady was knitting on Instagram is called the Norway sweater. It's very pretty. I really like it. Maybe I'm not a big fan of the flowers here or down here, like in the ribbings, but everything else is beautiful. Plus there's like a super fancy detail right under the, there's like a triangle right under the armpit, and that was super cool. So yeah, I got that, and then I was looking through this and I'm like, oh, I really like some of these other ones. Like, let me see here. I like this one, Breton. This one's very pretty. Let's see what else. The one called Scarborough. This is Cornwall. I like this one too. I don't know how well, because it's very dark. Oh yeah, I don't know if you can see that. If you can, cool. If you can't, I'm so sorry. It's just it looks like fisherman's rib on the top half, and then like a fancy little cable here, and then the rest is stockinette. It's very nice though. There's a lot of really good ones in here, honestly. I do like this one. So I added a new book to my collection. So it'll go up here. Yeah. Ooh, it's too tall for my books. It'll fit down here. So I'll have to put it with the hardcovers, unfortunately. So I had it separated by paperback and cardboard, hardcover back there. I'll just have to put it with hardcover because it doesn't fit here. Unless I move this down one. Huh? Anyways, so let's go ahead and talk. What is it? Budget and yarn. I don't want to, but we're going to. I am 110% not thrilled to have to share this with you. Also, don't mind the mess in the back. Just a mess. I'm not thrilled to share this with you because I did fall off the deep end in this month. I don't understand why, for what reason, but we'll start with yarn stash details. So, if you are new here, everything that is here and then the other one here, those I am calling units. So regardless of if it's 500 grams or if it's 100 grams or if it's 50 grams or a sock set with a mini attached to it, it doesn't matter. They're all units of yarn. At the beginning of the year, I always pull everything out and count it. So I began the year 2025 with 285 units of yarn in my main stash. Now I do have like scraps and minis and undyed yarn. Those don't get counted. The undyed yarn has its own little table that I keep track of, and then scraps and minis just, they don't count. I don't count them. If I use them, I don't count them. Because I rarely ever use minis, and I typically don't use scraps. I mean, I am now, which is nice, but I can't count them towards this. So anyways, I just wanted to preface that. I started the year with 285 units of yarn in my stash. As of June, halfway through the year, I am now very sad to say that I am at 300 units of yarn. Granted, a lot of the things that I am purchasing right now, I am using straight away. So hopefully it'll go back down pretty quickly, but knitting does take time. Crochet does take time. So it's not going to be immediate. Like purchasing is an immediate ad, but anyway, so this month for June, I have used 14 units of yarn in projects, but I have brought in 41 units. I am sorry. I'm sorry to myself. I am sorry to let you all down as well. So yes, I am at an even 300 units of yarn. I have gained 15 units, I guess. I am trying though. I am trying. And then nothing, I've used no undyed skeins this month, so nothing has changed. I'm still started the year at 44. I am still currently at 35. So I've used 9 of the 44. Okay. So that one sucks, but it's not nearly as bad as my budget. So my initial goal, did I buy any patterns in June? I don't think I did. Okay. So my initial goal for 2025 was to spend no money on yarn. I had plenty in my stash that I could use. And so I was going to try very hard not to spend any money. January and February was successful. I spent nothing. But then I joined the ambassador program for Knit Picks, and that kind of threw everything off. So March, April, May, and June, I have spent money on yarn. And so as I started spending money, I was like, okay, well, let's keep it under $500 for the whole year. Let's just keep it under $500. Guess what I hit this month? I've hit $500 this month. I'm currently sitting at $575.38 that I have spent so far this year on yarn. Just yarn. I don't want to just be like, oh, well, let's keep it under this then. Let's keep it under that. Honestly, I need to go back to just no more spending money. Honestly, it's what I need to do. No more. That's it. I am cut off. I cannot buy anything in July, August, September, October, November, December. And that's going to be really, really hard. I have an impulse control issue. But yes, I wanted to be straight up, you know, straightforward and honest with all of you, because this is kind of what I've been working on all year. Yeah, I failed. And it is okay, because I still have time to change it, right? I still have time to change it. So I'm going to try. It does not look like I purchased any patterns in the month of June, which is good, because I was buying patterns like crazy. I am at a total of $158.51 on patterns alone. I suppose I could technically put this in there, and I probably should actually. Just like 11 something. I can't remember exactly. 11 something for this. So let me go ahead and add that in. June. Fisher. Sweaters by Alice Starmore. I'm just gonna put 11 for now, because I don't know the exact. Oh, my tummy is grumbling. All right, okay, so it looks like 169. Oops, dang it. 169.51 I've spent so far on patterns. So I'm not going crazy though. I'm trying to limit. I always get nervous, you know, or the fact that they'll come out, you know, a new pattern will come out and it'll have a discount code. But I have to remind myself, a discount code is not that great of a discount. Plus, the pattern will still be there when and if I really do want to knit it. So I really just need to calm down. So yes, I'm working on that kind of impulse control right there. The impulse to buy patterns when they first come out, because A, that there's a discount code, and B, it's new and fresh and so exciting. Half the time I don't get to them. Umma sweater. It's the Umma sweater. Anyways, so yes, that is what we're looking at. Other than that, doing well with knitting. I mean, again, I kind of went off the deep end and started a lot of things, none of which were on my initial goal, like not goals, but like I made a whole like vision board of what I want to knit this year, and I have not picked anything off of that in a while. I have it sitting over here to remind me all the time. So I'd love to say I hope I have some time eventually, but work starts back up at the end of July, and so my knitting will slow down a lot. So if I'm smart, I can get a lot of this stuff done before that, and then I can go back to slowly working on those things. But still, I mean, one of those is supposed to be my Christmas sweater for this year, so I probably should like make sure I have some kind of time to get that started. But yes, that is what June has looked like for me. Just working along and stressing and buying and, you know, all that jazz. So next couple of days, I will be taking it slow. I mean, I don't feel like much is going to change for me even after, like I said, I'm going to have surgery tomorrow. Nothing too crazy, but, and it's outpatient surgery, but I know I'm going to be sore. So hopefully it'll just be a lot of relaxing, watching YouTube and knitting, but I've already been doing a lot of that. So hopefully it'll just carry on. We'll get more of this challenge done. The socks are done, which is beautiful. That's off my plate. These is off my plate. Oh, I do want to start a new pair of socks. So I have this yarn that I purchased in, I think I purchased this in May. This is the Rangel Superwash. I've heard lots of good things about it. It comes with this in the middle, which is so much fun. This is to reinforce your heels and your toes or whatnot. I'm hoping this one ball is enough. I do not know. This is only 50 grams, so I do not know. But I'm going to make the Oxna socks by Summerly Designs using this. And that's a lace sock. So here I go. It's like a all over textured sock type thing. I don't know if it's fully lace. All over texture. It's not a released pattern from her yet. But she was very kind. She very kindly gifted it to me a while back. So I wanted to get these socks done so that I could cast on these socks. So this is the only other cast on that I can see myself doing until that test knit gets, you know, like the stuff for the test knit comes. So maybe I'll cast these on today. We'll see. Anyways, that is all I got for June. And so July starts tomorrow. I am already halfway through summer break. So like I said, yes, school starts back up for me. Her work starts back up in July at the very end. And then school starts in the beginning of August for the kids. And then it's back to hustle every day. Okay. So I'm gonna let you go now because I am a rambler. Love you guys. Bye.